Good afternoon and welcome to the Keating Sports Center in Chicago, Illinois for another presentation of NCAA Division III Men's Volleyball here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and on YouTube Live. Today, it's a Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference men's volleyball matchup as the Aurora Spartans make the trip into Chicago to take on the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks. Chris Rouse here courtside at the Keating Center. Both teams getting ready for today's matchup, an afternoon tilt here inside the Keating Sports Center where both the Aurora Spartans and Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks will be looking to get back into the win column. Illinois Tech appears to have found their rhythm. They, after starting the season with 7 straight losses, this is an Illinois Tech team that as of late they've won 9 of their last 14. However, they've lost 2 straight after going out to play at the Cal Lutheran Invitational. But Illinois Tech, throughout this season, they found their rhythm. For a team that lost 7 straight, they come in with a record of 9-12. They are 3-3 here at the Keating Center this season. This is also an Illinois Tech team that likes to go the distance. They've gone 8 in 8 of their matches this season. They've gone 5 sets. They've split those matches going 4-4. Aurora also looks to get back into the win column, but Aurora comes in having lost their matchup, which ended a 5-match win streak. Their loss came at the hands of the Carthage Firebirds, but this is an Aurora team that, thanks to their home floor of the Thornton Gymnasium, they have been on fire this season. 16-3, they are 5-0 in conference play, and they travel pretty well. You'll see a number of fans wearing the blue and white colors for the Aurora Spartans as we get ready to get this men's volleyball matchup going here inside the Keating Sports Center. We know there are impending thunderstorms coming here in the Chicagoland area, but that will not stop us from getting this matchup going here in men's volleyball action. However, there is a programming note that we would like to leave for you here on the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network. There will be no broadcast of men's lacrosse due to the impending weather, the impending thunderstorms having an effect on the outdoor equipment. So as a result of basically weather technical difficulties, there will be no there will at least be no call on the men's lacrosse matchup, but there will be a broadcast. Just expect maybe a more of a visual broadcast as opposed to anyone on the microphone for tonight's men's lacrosse matchup. However, here inside the Keating Sports Center, men's volleyball getting ready to go as the Scarlet Hawks get set to play host to the Aurora Spartans. The introduction of the starting lineups and the playing of the national anthem coming up in just a moment. Courtside here at the Keating Sports Center in Chicago. This is NCAA Division III men's volleyball here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and on YouTube Live. The Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks getting set to take on the Aurora Spartans. Chris Rouse here on the call as we get ready for today's contest. Both teams getting ready to take the floor. Illinois Tech actually out here in the black uniforms with the gold numbers and letters and with the red trim. Meanwhile, Aurora also with their all-black uniforms with the white numbers and blue trim. Both teams getting ready to take the floor. We'll take a quick moment. We'll be right back before the opening serve. Both teams here at the Keating Sports Center back on the floor. Chris Rouse on the call as we get the starting lineups here. First for the visiting Aurora University Spartans, you'll see them going left to right. They will start this matchup with Mateo Sharash on the serve. They'll also start with Alex Nonoff, Josh McClellan, Connor Carroll, Sebastian Suzuki, Amar Berzovich, and Logan Brower. Meanwhile, for Illinois Tech, Eli Johnson is close to the net. Number 4, Alec Donald is the libero. And here comes the serve, and right to Alec Donald for Illinois Tech. They set up Jelani Komodo in front of the net. Outside hit for Aurora, picked up well by Komodo. Scarlet Hawks playing tight to the net there as Donald punches the ball over, point to Aurora. The remaining starters for Illinois Tech, number 2, Elijah Johnson. Number 4, Alec Donald. Number 6, Paul Henderson. Number 9, Raul Matos. Number 20, Maximo Dowling. Number 24, Jelani Komodo, and number 25, Colton Farrell are the listed starters for Illinois Tech. Farrell not on the floor at the moment, but there's a hit over the net for Illinois Tech to get them on the board. Outside hit from Elijah Johnson. This is an Illinois Tech team that has certainly turned it around. I think the best way to describe what we've seen out of Illinois Tech as a team that started losing their first 7 games of the season, they found their rhythm. This is an Illinois Tech team that has found their rhythm. They're now 9-12 on the season. They're 4-2 in NAC conference play, which currently has them in 5th place. They're taking on the team in 1st place right now in the Aurora Spartans. Spartans 5-0 in NAC conference play. That's Suzuki on the serve. Henderson punching the ball over. Pass to McClellan from Brower to the outside, and the point to Illinois Tech on the block. Tied at 2 here in the early going. It'll be Maximo Dowling back to serve here for the Scarlet Hawks. Coach Mike Oswald in his 3rd season giving instructions as Illinois Tech serves right to left. Dowling serves the ball over clean. Here's an outside hit opportunity for Aurora and a point for the Spartans thanks to Josh McClellan. That was a perfect spike, a perfect kill right in front of Alec Donald. Donald and Dowling both were in the vicinity there, but it was Donald who actually had more of that play. And now Logan Brower will serve. Brower, the junior out of Shorewood, Illinois, attended Joliet West. Nice high serve here. It goes over to Alec Donald. Ball in front of the net, played on, but not before a violation. And the point will go to the Aurora Spartans. The Aurora fans certainly travel well. I see a lot of fans in their royal. I know it's technically blue. It might just be blue, but a lot of that royal look over there from a lot of the fans here with the black and blue representing the Spartans. And for good reason. A solid season to this point. The 6th season for head coach Dan Ames, who has certainly raised his way through this conference, through the NAC. Remember, had to start at Dominican. He had to start at Dominican University. Now here coaching the Aurora Spartans. Here's Komodo on the serve, and Komodo will get the ace for the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks. Komodo certainly fired up as Illinois Tech gets our score level at 4 apiece here in the first set. Komodo, right-hand hit, gets it over clean. Ball played at the top of the net. Oh, just hit outside for Aurora. They were trying to set up Berzovich, and it appeared that Berzovich just punched it a little too hard. The junior out of Wheaton, Illinois, attended Wheaton Wardenville South, but he couldn't get that ball to land perfectly on the floor, and it happens again. This time the point does go to Aurora. And now they get the score back level at 5 apiece. Josh McClellan to serve. Junior out of Calgary, Alberta, Canada. He goes 6'9". He's listed as 6'9" on the official Aurora Spartans roster. Johnson plays it outside to Henderson, and Paul Henderson listed as 6'2", the junior out of Steilacoom, Washington. Helps Illinois Tech get his jersey number on the scoreboard, 6'5", Scarlet Hawks, here in set 1. This is an Aurora team that in all of their matches this season, 16-3, 19 matches, they have yet to go 5 sets. They did go 5 sets in an exhibition in which they also won that match. It was a 3-2 win against St. Xavier, the St. Xavier Cougars. St. Xavier not too far from here at Illinois Tech, further south from our current location, but in the Chicagoland vicinity. Here's Henderson. Plays it over to Raul Matos. Not off. The libero set that one up perfectly for McClellan, and McClellan came through sort of with some venom in that spike as he helps Aurora get the point, and now they'll control the serve with Berzovic. Berzovic, the 6'7" junior, wearing number 20 for Aurora, will serve it left to right on your screen at home. Headed towards the north side of the Keating Center. Meanwhile, Illinois Tech firing back towards the south side of the center with Maximo Dowling getting Illinois Tech a 2-point advantage on the scoreboard. 8-6 Scarlet Hawks. Here's Matos, first-year player out of Puerto Rico. Nice high toss from Matos. He sort of met the serve halfway. Aurora on the reception played it well as they set up Suzuki for the kill. That was a great pass by the Spartans as they set up 16 in front of the net. And Suzuki was able to deliver and allow Aurora to once again pull within 1. Illinois Tech, just by virtue of the scoreboard at the moment, currently in control with an 8-7 edge. But this matchup has been played pretty much at a 2-point edge, at a 2-point pace in favor of Illinois Tech. Great effort from Donald and Henderson there. Here's Aurora coming back the other way, and we're leveled at 8. Illinois Tech had the 2-point advantage, but that was the first time either team was able to rattle off 2 points since Illinois Tech had gained that 2-point advantage on the scoreboard. And as a result, here we are tied at 8, and now a long service error from Aurora. Connor Carroll, sophomore out of LaGrange, Illinois, attended Lyons Township, sent that one long. And now it'll be Andrew Franks, first-year player out of San Francisco, California. High serve here for Franks. Ball goes over clean. Illinois Tech ready to play it, but Henderson couldn't quite get there in time. And Suzuki again strikes back for Aurora as they now tie the score at 9 apiece. Illinois Tech going with Alec Donald and Elijah Johnson on the right side of the floor, the far side away from you, the viewer at home. Johnson setting it up for, I thought he was going for Komodo. Instead, it's Donald on the backside bump. Outside hit opportunity for Aurora and a kill for Josh McClellan. Makes it 10-9 Aurora. Spartans claim the lead as we get into double digits on the scoreboard. It'll be Sharash on the serve, but he sends it right back into the net. And Illinois Tech able to get back level on the scoreboard at 10 apiece. It'll be Elijah Johnson. Johnson, the junior out of Fort Worth, Texas, ready to serve. Outside hit. And the kill for Aurora. Coach Mike Oswald out on the floor for the Scarlet Hawks is giving some instructions to Johnson. He's making eye contact with Elijah Johnson. Meanwhile, on the other end of the floor, it's Suzuki ready to serve. Suzuki, that was met by a double bump in the middle of the floor for Illinois Tech. Outside hit opportunity for McClellan. All McClellan could do was set the ball over without picking up a violation. It worked out for Illinois Tech as Dowling gets the kill. I'll be honest, I actually had to pause there. I thought that was going to go to Aurora, But the ball fell out of play in favor of Illinois Tech as Dowling gets to score level. Dowling sends one long, and the point goes to Aurora. 12-11 Spartans. Spartans by one. As now it's Logan Brower to serve. Aurora looking for their first bit of breathing room here in set one. Brower provides it with the ace. Great job by Brower as that brings the Spartan faithful to their feet for the first time here at the Keating Sports Center. And it also gives Aurora the 2-point advantage. Brower holds the ball out as he measures his serve. Nice high toss, but he sends it long. Brower sends that serve right back to the Illinois Tech bench. And the Scarlet Hawks back within one here. And let's see what's going to happen with Illinois Tech as it'll be Eli Sherman to serve. Sherman, left-hand serve, gets it over clean. Played on by Nanoff, and the kill for Berzovic makes it 14-12 Spartans. As Coach Oswald going with some substitutions here. It'll be Komodo. Actually, I thought he was going to come on. It'll be Donald in for Komodo. As Coach Oswald keeping Donald in to keep his defensive specialist, the libero, out on the floor. Outside hit opportunity for Illinois Tech is set up perfectly for Matos. That was a beautiful setup on the pass. The set got Matos right to the front of the net and allowed Illinois Tech to cut their deficit within one. It'll be Paul Henderson to serve as Illinois Tech tries to get back leveled on the scoreboard. Received by Nanoff on the other end for Aurora. Long hit for Sharash out of play. Point to Illinois Tech. 14 all as Illinois Tech, as we're past, looking to gain the lead as we pass the midway point of set one. Henderson, left-hand serve. Did he get the ace? He did. Paul Henderson gives Illinois Tech a 1-point advantage in set one. The Aurora Spartans looks like they're just going to play this one on here with Henderson serving it. I thought we were maybe going to get a timeout from Aurora. Instead, they decided to play it on. Henderson served, and now the block by Matos allows Illinois Tech to go up 2 here in set one. 16-14 Scarlet Hawks. Henderson controlling the serve. Henderson. Nice high left-handed toss and a left-handed hit on the serve. Outside hit opportunity for Aurora in the kill from Solomon Dale. Dale, the senior out of Oswego, Illinois, attended Oswego East, former member of the Wolfpack, comes through and gets the kill. The junior from Libertyville, Illinois, Reese Wojtrowski on the serve. Wojtrowski sends it over. Farrell tried to get the point for Illinois Tech. The ball was actually touched by Aurora. I thought at first maybe Farrell hit that one off the net. The official said it was touched by the Spartans. And as a result, Illinois Tech takes a 2-point lead here in set one. Raul Matos sends it long on the serve. The error allows Aurora to control the serve now. Once again, facing a 1-point deficit. Connor Carroll comes onto the floor now for the Spartans, and he will serve here. 17-16 Scarlet Hawks. 5 players on the back line here for Illinois Tech. Carroll sends it to Donald. Johnson sets it up in the middle of the floor for Farrell, and that's a beautiful play by the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks. Great reception by Alec Donald, and then it was Johnson who set it up in the middle of the floor, and it allowed Farrell to get the kill. 18-16, Illinois Tech. Franks to serve. Again, Andrew Franks, the freshman out of San Francisco, California. Franks received on the other end by Nanoff. Outside hit opportunity kept alive by Illinois Tech. Henderson going for the kill. He got it off the net. The point will go to Aurora. Henderson didn't think there was any. He thought maybe that was contact from Aurora. The officials disagree, and as a result, the Spartans get the point to cut their deficit within one. Sharash played to the back line. Johnson and Suzuki met each other at the top. Ball goes over for Aurora, and they get the point. That was McClellan who hit it over in front of Komodo. But we also had an interesting moment prior to the finish of that rally. And now we're tied at 18. Ball into the air with Johnson. Hits to the outside for Dowling. I don't think Dowling cleared the extender. And the officials agree. Point to the Spartans. That was a close play. As Dowling, Maximo Dowling had the ball hit over the net. And I think there's a bit of an issue here with maybe one of the plays on the point, as now Illinois Tech trails by one. Here's Sharash. Donald plays it outside to Dowling, and Dowling is blocked outside by Aurora. 20-18 Spartans with a 2-point advantage. And the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks will take a timeout. Mike Oswald had a discussion with one of the officials before the timeout. Aurora leads it by 2. It's 20-18 Spartans. Set 1 getting ready to conclude on the other side of this break here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network. NCAA Division III men's volleyball going on right now on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and on YouTube Live. This is the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network. And right now, Illinois Tech down by 2 at the hands of the Aurora Spartans. Chris Rouse here on the call as the Scarlet Hawks look to get back into the win column. Illinois Tech with a record of 9-12 on the season, 4-2 in conference play. Looking to give Aurora their first conference loss. That service error will help the case of the hosts, the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks. As now Elijah Johnson will serve with Illinois Tech down by 1. It's been a back and forth first set to this point. Johnson serves it over the line clean. Outside hit opportunity for McClellan. That was awfully close, but the officials say out. So the linesman will give that point to Illinois Tech. Coach Dan Ames hasn't been up off the bench much here in this first set, but that point brought him off the bench. And then the following ace from Johnson allows Illinois Tech to go up by 1 here late in the first set. 21-20, Illinois Tech. Johnson sends it over clean, played over by Carroll, and the point to Illinois Tech. And now the officials are going to have a conference here. As now Coach Mike Oswald is trying to get his players. He's got Elijah Johnson going over to get in on the argument here between the official and head coach Ames of Aurora. Coach Ames very animated here, as you can see there at the bottom of your screen. As Illinois Tech takes a 2-point advantage here in set 1. And now Dan Ames will burn a timeout. It's a 2-point Scarlet Hawk advantage as Coach Ames is still having words with one of the officials here inside the Keating Center. As the conversation continues, we'll take a quick breather. And when we return, we'll be back with more here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and on YouTube Live. This is NCAA Division III men's volleyball on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and on YouTube Live. Coming to you live inside the Keating Sports Center. Chris Rouse here on the call as Illinois Tech getting ready to serve with a 2-point advantage, leading 22-20 against the Aurora Spartans. Coach Dan Ames still out on the court here for the Spartans. He had a lengthy conversation with one of the officials, and now on the other end of the floor, we have Logan Brower, I guess, as the mouthpiece for head coach Dan Ames at the moment, as he's having words with the head official up on the perch here inside the Keating Sports Center. Coach Dan Ames is for good reason. That was a close play. It was a close point for Illinois Tech as they were able to go up 21-20. And then there was briefly right after there was the ace. But Coach Ames, he was having words with the official that's closest to the scores table here. And the delay continues here as Ames now is having words with Logan Brower. So after the lengthy delay, nothing has changed on the scoreboard. Coach Ames back to his seat here. And as I was saying, he hadn't stood up much. That's the most animated he had been to this point in the matchup. As now McClellan tries the outside hit for Aurora. Here's McClellan again. He'll try again, and he succeeds this time. At first you don't succeed, try again. It paid off there for McClellan and the Spartans. They couldn't get the kill on the initial setup to the outside. But on the reload, McClellan was able to get the spike perfectly down to the middle of the floor for the kill. Suzuki on the serve. Johnson, outside hit to Dowling. Dowling in the point to Illinois Tech. Scarlet Hawks by 2, 23-21. Illinois Tech would love to put themselves ahead early in this matchup by taking set 1. Dowling on the serve. Well played by Nonoff on the back line. Middle of the floor hit for McClellan and the point to Aurora. Josh McClellan has done that a few times in this matchup for the Spartans, where he's put that ball perfectly in front of the hands of the players of the Scarlet Hawks that are expected to receive. We saw Donald actually try to get down earlier for one and just couldn't get his hands underneath the ball in time. Ball hit long. Donald jumps just to check. Dowling jumped as well, as they really were just trying to make sure they had no play on that one. Ball over their head. It allows Illinois Tech to get set point. Scarlet Hawks would love to take set 1 here from the Spartans. It will be Sherman to try to take set 1 with the serve. No ace for Illinois Tech as Aurora sends the ball over. And the point to Aurora. Great play by Solomon Dale as he did everything he could to protect that net for the Spartans. So now Aurora controls the serve, and Coach Mike Oswald will burn the timeout. 24-23 the current score. Illinois Tech leads it by 1. We'll keep it here as we get ready to wrap up set 1. We'll go over the standings at the moment in the NAC men's volleyball standings in the conference. The Aurora Spartans 16-3 on the season, 5-0 in conference play to lead the way. Then there are 3 teams that are 6-1 in front of Illinois Tech. You got Benedictine. You got Benedictine at 11-7, 6-1 in conference. Dominican 10-8, 6-1 in conference, and MSOE 8-10, also 6-1 in conference. MSOE doing a great job of cleaning up in their conference matchups, going 6-1 this season, but only 8-10 on the season overall. Meanwhile, Illinois Tech, they currently sit in 5th place with the percentage points on Wisconsin Lutheran at the moment. Illinois Tech 9-12, good for 4-2 in conference play. Wisconsin Lutheran 7-10, 4-2 in conference play. And then at the bottom of the conference, you got Marion 3-3, Concordia, Wisconsin is 2-3. Chicago and Edgewood are both 2-5. Meanwhile, St. Norbert is 2-6. Lakeland 0-6, and Rockford 0-7. Lakeland and Rockford both still looking for their first win of the 2025 men's volleyball season. Illinois Tech looking for the win here in set 1 over Aurora. It's Nathan Anderson on the serve. Here is Johnson to Henderson. Played to the outside as Dowling keeps it alive. Another outside hit. Matos is blocked at the top of the net by Solomon Dale to tie set 1 at 24. Just when it appeared as maybe Illinois Tech had control, Solomon Dale comes through with a huge block to tie the set at 24. Outside hit for Henderson, and Illinois Tech, maybe one rally, one serve too late. They get the kill, but they do take the 25-24 advantage. Henderson now will serve as Illinois Tech looks to take set one. Henderson, left hand serve, gets it over clean. Middle of the floor, actually played to the outside to the Spartans, and it's played by Sharash, who comes through. The junior out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Mateo Sharash gets the kill. And that kill for Sharash, actually his first credited kill of the match. Is now to be Wojtrowski on the serve. Dowling middle of the floor. Johnson to Farrell. Farrell didn't really have enough venom on that piece of contact to try to get the hit over the net. Johnson to Henderson, blocked at the top of the net by Suzuki. Henderson will try again. He'll set it over the net. Great job on the dig by Brower. Farrell tries to reload for Illinois Tech. Brower to McClellan. McClellan sets it over the net. Great job by Henderson as he pancaked on the dig. Matos to Dowling. Matos again over the net. Played by Brower. Great passing from both teams on this rally. Johnson just sends it over. Wojtrowski, outside hit for Aurora, goes long. Actually, it was deflected. Point to the Spartans as Solomon Dale gets the ball over clean. 26-25 Aurora. That was a great rally. Great passing from both teams. And now Wojtrowski will try to win the set for the Spartans. Johnson, outside hit for Matos. Got it over the middle of the floor. That's going to go to the table. Point to the Scarlet Hawks. Great effort from Solomon Dale again. He just ran out of space. He ran right into the table. I like how Dale really did a good job of crashing into the table. He ran right in their shoulder first so he could take that contact really head on if you want to call that head on. He made sure he didn't go over. I'm thankful he didn't go over. Here's Dowling, who gets the kill for Illinois Tech. 27-26, Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks. Matos will serve for the Scarlet Hawks, but he will serve after the timeout from Aurora. 27-26, Illinois Tech. These two teams with a great back and forth here in set one. There's a great rally not too long ago. We saw both teams with great passing, and the ball just hit too long there from Aurora, and it allowed Illinois Tech to get back even on the scoreboard at 26 apiece. We already went over the conference standings here. Remember, this is an Aurora team that have been able to clean up through their schedule in the conference in the NAC to this point of the season. But you mentioned how Aurora, they did lose their last matchup 3-1 at the hands of the Carthage Firebirds. It was a 25-17 set one win for Carthage. Then Aurora was able to win 25-22 in set two before falling 25-17 and 25-19 on Saturday at the hands of the Firebirds. But prior to that, the Spartans had won 5 straight matches. They defeated Concordia University of Chicago. They defeated Loris. They defeated Rockford, Dominican, and Wabash. They also had a win against St. Norbert. So this is a team that has done a great job getting their wins on the board. They won 6 straight. They won 5 straight also in conference play before coming in here. Here's Dowling, who sends the ball over the net. Outside hit for the Spartans. Donald plays it to Johnson. Donald sends it over clean. Ball blocked at the top of the net, but the point goes to Aurora. Neither team able to take this first set. Both teams showing great heart, great effort. No more timeouts remaining in set one. Connor Carroll will serve now as the Spartans get ready to send the ball over. Carroll with the left hand hit. It's kept alive by Matos. Played in the middle of the floor, and a kill for Suzuki. Sebastian Suzuki, sophomore out of Riverside, Illinois, attended Riverside Brookfield, comes through the huge kill there for the Aurora Spartans. Here's Carroll. He'll serve again as the Spartans look to claim set one. Johnson outside for Dowling, and is blocked again by Suzuki, who comes up with a kill and a block for the Spartans as they win set one by a score of 29-27. Certainly an entertaining, high-octane, back-and-forth opening set. Aurora takes set one by the score of 29-27. We'll take a quick break from the Keating Sports Center. When we return, set two action between the Aurora Spartans and the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and on YouTube Live. Courtside at the Keating Sports Center in Chicago, Illinois. This is NCAA Division III men's volleyball on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and on YouTube Live. I'm Chris Rouse on the call where we await set two between the Aurora Spartans and the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks. Certainly an entertaining opening set as Aurora was able to walk away with a 29-27 set one win over the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks. That was actually the most that Aurora had scored in a set this season. That's actually a new high for the Spartans. They had 27 earlier this season. That 27 was scored back on February the 15th when they took on Mount Union. So for Illinois Tech, they'll look to try to avenge that set one loss. Here are some key stats from set one. Josh McClellan had 8 kills to lead the way for the Aurora Spartans. Meanwhile, Maximo Dowling, he had 4 to lead the way for the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks. A number of big blocks in that set. We saw Logan Brower. He was credited with 3 block assists in that first set, as Aurora was able to record 9 blocks in the first set of our matchup here this afternoon, this late afternoon, early evening inside the Keating Sports Center in Chicago. The weather has been all over the place the past week in Chicago. We had beautiful 70-degree weather throughout parts of the weekend. Then we had a cold, snowy day on, I believe, Sunday. Been back up and around the 60s up until today, where it has begun to pick up high winds and rain on the outside. But inside the Keating Center, it's Johnson on the serve to begin set two for the Scarlet Hawks. Outside hit for Aurora comes from Connor Carroll, but it goes into the net. And that makes it 1-0 Illinois Tech. Illinois Tech led the majority of that first set, but just were unable to put away the Spartans to get the win. They had a couple of opportunities for set point. But when it came down to it, it really was a lot of the plays from Josh McClellan who helped Aurora claim that first set. It was Sebastian Suzuki who got the last 2 points actually for the Spartans, as he had the kill and the block to help the Spartans secure the set 1 victory. Johnson to Komodo, and played on the back line by Aurora. Here's Brower sending the ball over clean. Johnson to Henderson, outside hit. He's just going to tap it over. Brower to McClellan. McClellan, another kill for McClellan. McClellan with 10 kills already in the matchup as Aurora takes a 2-1 advantage. It'll be Sharash on the serve. Sharash sends it over clean. It's Alec Donald on the reception. Henderson outside hit. Puts it down right in the middle of the floor, right at the feet of Mateo Sharash. And it's now tied at 2 apiece. Sharash actually got to feel some of what Illinois Tech was feeling in that first set. We saw McClellan hit the ball at the feet of Alec Donald and Maximo Dowling a few times in set 1. Outside hit opportunity here for Aurora, and the kill from Suzuki. Can't really say that was an outside hit. He placed the ball on the outside, but Suzuki was right in the middle of the floor as he makes it 3-2 with the kill for the Spartans. Suzuki sends the ball long here, and that'll get the score back level at 3 apiece. Again, Suzuki, if you're just joining us, had the last 2 points of set 1, which allowed Aurora to win 29-27 over the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks. He had the spike, which recorded the kill right in the middle of the floor. And then on the following serve, following Illinois Tech's reception, it was Suzuki who got the block on the bottom right of the net to get the point for Aurora to win 29-27. Johnson, outside hit opportunity, set it up for Matos. Ball goes out of play long, point to Aurora. Spartans lead it by 1. Solomon Dale will come on. Dale had a few notable plays in that first set as well at the front of the net for the Spartans in set 1. 2 kills for Dale in set 1. He also had a block assist. Logan Brower. Brower on that serve. Johnson played it back to Henderson, and Henderson got the kill. It worked out for Illinois Tech. That was an interesting play. I thought Johnson was just going to set it over. Instead, he set it behind himself perfectly for Henderson, who got the kill. Tied at 4. Henderson serves the ball over clean with the left hand. Outside hit for Aurora goes long. Got a play off the hands of Berzovic. 5-4 Illinois Tech. It'll be Henderson to serve. Looking to get the Scarlet Hawks to his jersey number. Instead, he'll go the other way with the service error, and the point will go to Aurora. Spartans back level at 5 apiece. And here is McClellan to serve. McClellan gets the ball over clean, middle of the floor to Donald. Johnson sets up Farrell, and Farrell gets the point. Great effort by Brower to try to keep the ball alive on the dig. I'm not so sure the ball didn't hit the ground on that first effort from Brower. He tried to get his hand under it and keep it alive, but was unable to do so. Matos. Played on by McClellan. Great pass from Brower. The kill will go to Solomon Dale. That was a great pass by Logan Brower as he was able to get both hands under the ball perfectly on the set. And he set it in the air perfectly for Dale, who then got the kill with a beautiful spike. Berzovic to serve. And it's received by Henderson. Johnson played to Dowling. Point to Illinois Tech off the deflection. Maximo Dowling gets the kill. The Aurora sideline not really too pleased with some of the calls they're seeing here in this second set. Meanwhile, Illinois Tech will go to substitution here as Farrell will come off. Sherman will come on. Eli Sherman, the senior out of Palatine, Illinois. Sherman sends the ball over clean. Great play for Aurora in the middle of the floor. Again, it was Brower with a beautiful setup for Suzuki, as Suzuki puts it down to tie the score at 7. That's kill number 6 for Suzuki. Meanwhile, Brower, he's been credited with 20 assists to this point of the match. Serve comes over clean from Connor Carroll, and the point goes to Aurora. Great catch by the courtside photography crew, as now it's 8-7 Spartans. Connor Carroll. It's played on to Komodo for Illinois Tech. Donald to Dowling. Dowling just didn't have enough air underneath the piece of contact as he hits the ball well short of the net. That ball really didn't even make it to the net. It sort of just died below. It died before it got to the net and just bounced under the net harmlessly. Ball hit long. Illinois Tech trying to get a nice play, and they do. Eli Johnson able to push that ball down perfectly, as Illinois Tech able to get the control of the serve, as now they're actually checking the score here inside the Keating Center. It's 9-8 Aurora. Johnson. It's played back by Aurora. That ball's going to land perfectly out of bounds for the Spartans as they just watch it go for the point. Spartans with a 10-8 advantage. Coach Dan Ames actually had to check in with the officials there to make sure the score was right. As it stands, it is 10-8 Spartans, 10 serving 8. And now it'll be 9 serving 10 following the error from Sharash. It'll be Maximo Dowling to serve as Mike Oswald, the head coach of Illinois Tech, directs Alec Donald. And the ball goes out of play. Point to Illinois Tech. That was Suzuki who tried to come through with the hard spike, but he sent the ball out of play. Long hit from Dowling. And it goes out of play. Point to Aurora. Spartans with a 1-point advantage. And it continues to pour down inside the Keating Sports Center. We can actually sort of hear it here on the inside. Johnson to Komodo. Great effort from Aurora as Carroll ran the ball down. Johnson sets up Henderson. Henderson just sets it over. Brower for McClellan. It's been a good 1-2 combo for Aurora, but not this time. Matos. Now Brower sets it up this time for Berzovich. And Aurora gets the point again, led by Logan Brower. Logan Brower has certainly been key for Aurora to this point of the matchup. They lead it by 2. And I mentioned how Brower had 20 assists credited to his name already. Make it 22 following that one. Henderson blocked. Great block at the top of the net by the Spartans. That was McClellan and Berzovich, both in the vicinity for the double block. Sebastian Suzuki sends it over clean. Komodo sent it right back to Suzuki. And a point to Aurora. Ball just outside of the line for Komodo. Suzuki was also close to making contact. But the ball went right past Suzuki for the Illinois Tech point, for the Aurora point. Now Suzuki gives Illinois Tech a point with the error. Skullhawks will control the serve. It will be Andrew Franks. Franks has had a few opportunities here for Illinois Tech. Couple of digs, but nothing going on the serve or the kill department for Franks. And now an error will make it a 4-point Spartans lead, 15-11. Now to be Logan Brower to serve. Brower with 22 assists to this point of the matchup. He'll serve as Aurora looks to get this score to a 5-point advantage. Johnson to Dowling. Oh, that was a hard hit ball by Dowling. Alex Manoff did a good job of getting his hands up, but any contact he would have made there certainly would have been in self-defense. And as a result, that ball took a hard skip off his hands, point to Illinois Tech. Henderson on the serve. Middle of the floor for the Spartans, and it's Berzovic who steps up and fires right back for the Spartans. Aurora by 4, 16-12. It will be Josh McClellan again, the junior out of Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Listed as 6'9" on the Aurora roster. He'll serve the ball over clean. Farrell and Johnson in the vicinity for Illinois Tech. Outside hit from Matos and the point for Illinois Tech. I can hear Coach Dan Ames. I think he's saying who's over there on that play. Really didn't like the formation of his team there. It's now 16-13. Aurora still has the advantage, but now Illinois Tech controls the serve. Outside hit for the Spartans is blocked. Ball bumped into the air. That's the long hit from Johnson as he tried to go for the deflection, but great discipline by Aurora as they watched that ball on a line drive stream just go out of play for the side out. Wachowski to serve. As Aurora actually had Suzuki come off the floor there. So they were actually a man down and going into their formation. Farrell for the hit. But Colton Farrell's hit goes too long. The sophomore out of San Diego, California. Colton Farrell, he goes 6 feet. Just couldn't find the right touch on that one. And as a result, Aurora extends their lead to 5. 18-13 Spartans. Timeout Illinois Tech. Set 2 will continue on the other side of this break. This is Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks men's volleyball on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and on YouTube Live. Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks men's volleyball continues here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network. With the Scarlet Hawks trailing by 5, 18-13 at the hands of the Aurora Spartans. Chris Rouse here on the call for this early afternoon matchup in NAC men's volleyball. Action continues with the serve from Reese Wachowski, and Aurora now extends their lead to 19-13 here in set 2. If you're just joining us, Aurora leads the matchup 1-0, having won set 1, 29-27. Back and forth set. It feels interesting to say back and forth set when Illinois Tech had to lead the majority of the set, but that lead really didn't stretch beyond 2 points for the most part in the first set. Meanwhile, here in set 2, Aurora with a 5-point advantage, up 19-14. This is an early afternoon matchup in NAC men's volleyball. Elsewhere, Concordia will take on Wisconsin Lutheran at 7 p.m. Dominican will take on Concordia, Wisconsin. Edgewood will take on Rockford. And then also Benedictine will take on Marion. Meanwhile, the ball here, we've got a point for the Aurora Spartans. Aurora is actually not done after they play this matchup here with Illinois Tech. They're scheduled to take on Maranatha Baptist in their next outing. So plenty going on for the Aurora Spartans as they'll take on Lakeland. Wisconsin Lutheran will take on Maranatha Baptist. So Aurora will take on Lakeland tomorrow, with Wisconsin Lutheran take on Maranatha tomorrow. So a lot of teams not only playing today, but also playing in tomorrow's games as well. 3 games in the NAC today, with Illinois Tech taking on Aurora now, Concordia, Chicago taking on Wisconsin Lutheran. and then the Dominican taking on Wisconsin later on tonight. Outside hit opportunity here for Maximo Dowling as the ball is hit over by the Spartans. Johnson again with a hard hit. This time gets the ball down clean. Also upcoming in the NAC, once again mentioned, Maranatha Baptist will play host to Wisconsin Lutheran, and then Aurora, after playing today, will head home to the Thornton Gymnasium to take on Lakeland tomorrow at 7 p.m. So quick turnaround. Aurora would love to get the win here, and then after this matchup, probably turn around and head home for what likely will be one last practice and then a home matchup against the Lakeland Muskies. Timeout by the Scarlet Hawks as they can feel set 2 starting to slip away from them here at the hands of those same Aurora Spartans. We'll keep it here. Once again, going over what's coming up in the NAC. Remember, Aurora and Illinois Tech, this is the only game going on at the moment. Meanwhile, the Concordia University of Chicago Cougars, they will take on the Wisconsin Lutheran Warriors. That matchup scheduled for 7 p.m. in River Forest, Illinois. And also in River Forest, but not in the same location, the Dominican Stars will be taking on the Concordia University of Wisconsin Falcons. Only 3 matchups in NAC men's volleyball today. Meanwhile, tomorrow there will be 4 matchups, including the Rockford Regents taking on the Edgewood Eagles. And then, of course, the 2 aforementioned matchups, the Wisconsin Lutheran Warriors taking on the Maranatha Baptist Sabercats at 7 p.m. tomorrow. The Lakeland Muskies will take on the Aurora Spartans tomorrow at 7 p.m. Aurora will be the home team at the Thornton Gymnasium tomorrow. And then the Marion Sabres will take on Benedictine. All of that coming up in NAC men's volleyball action as the 2025 season continues to roll along. Illinois Tech, after this, they'll be on the road Saturday to take on the Marion Sabres, and then they'll be back home Tuesday to take on Concordia University of Chicago. Here go the Spartans with the serve. It's Sharash on the serve. Komodo punches the ball over in the point to Illinois Tech. Scarlet Hawks back within 6 here in set 2. Just trying to build some sort of momentum as Aurora has thoroughly been in control of this second set. Brower, outside hit from McClellan. Once again, that's been the best combo for Aurora all matchup. Let Brower set it up for McClellan. Let McClellan spike it down for the kill. It's 23-16 Spartans. Also a bit of a sub here for the Spartans as Coach Ames rises to his feet. He'll get S.J. Nelson, the sophomore, onto the floor. Sophomore out of Chicago, Illinois. Attended Brother Rice. The Brother Rice Crusaders actually coming off of a very good state run to the state finals in boys basketball, where they were state runners-up in 3A here in Illinois. But now on the volleyball court, got a representative in Nelson who's going to get a good hit here, but it's blocked for the point to Aurora. The ball knocked down by Komodo, but it's at the feet of the Scarlet Hawks. As now Aurora with an opportunity to take set 2. Luke Dwyer, sophomore out of Oakland, Illinois, also attended Brother Rice, but he's unable to get the point here for the Spartans as he picks up the error. A lot of Brother Rice representation on this Aurora roster with Luke Dwyer, S.J. Nelson, and also Martin McKee. Once again, I keep bringing it back to basketball. Brother Rice, they've been pretty good on the hoop side the last couple of seasons. Once again, state finalists this season. Meanwhile, an error here for Illinois Tech results in the 3 Brother Rice alums for the Aurora Spartans seeing a 25-17 win for their team. So Aurora with a 25-17 win in set 2 will look to try to get the sweep on the other side of this break. Meanwhile, the Scarlet Hawks continuing to search for answers here inside the Keating Center as they will look to try to salvage their 3-3 home record by trying to at least win set 3 to try to force this one to go the distance. Illinois Tech they've gone the distance 8 times this season. If they're going to get this win, they're going to need this one to go. They're going to need this one to be the 9th. They're going to need it to go 5 sets as well. We'll take a break. When we return, set 3 here inside the Keating Sports Center. This is Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks men's volleyball. The Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and on YouTube Live. Courtside here at the Keating Sports Center in Chicago. This is Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks men's volleyball on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and on YouTube Live. The next time we will have Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks men's volleyball action will be on Tuesday, March the 25th, when the Scarlet Hawks play host to the Concordia University of Chicago Cougars. Again, that'll be Tuesday, March 25th, 7 p.m. Central Time, locally, right here inside the Keating Sports Center, when the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks play host to the Concordia University of Chicago Cougars. After that, Illinois Tech will be at home again on Saturday, March the 29th. That'll be a 1 p.m. Saturday matchup, Senior Day, Alumni Day here inside the Keating Center, when the Scarlet Hawks take on the St. Norbert Green Knights. So two more opportunities to see the Scarlet Hawks in men's volleyball action, as they'll take on the, again, Concordia University of Chicago Cougars on Tuesday at 7, and then the St. Norbert Green Knights. That will occur next Saturday, the 29th, here inside the Keating Center. Illinois Tech will be on the road after this one, where they will take on the Marion Sabres. But at the moment, trailing the best team in the NAC, the Aurora Spartans. Aurora comes in with a record of 16-3. They are 5-0 in conference play. And after this matchup today, they will take on the Lakeland Muskies. So a quick back-to-back for the Spartans, quick turnaround. But then again, this matchup actually started at 5 p.m. And if Aurora can get a clean sweep, they'll at least get the full 24 hours off in between games, maybe 25 or maybe 24 and a half hours if they can win this matchup in 3 sets. Illinois Tech would love to stop that from happening by winning this one here, winning set 3 here, as we get ready to begin with the Scarlet Hawks now going right to left, Aurora heading left to right. Spartans will take on Lakeland tomorrow, as I mentioned. Then after that, they'll see Concordia University of Wisconsin on Saturday the 22nd. Then they will see Benedictine on March the 25th before headed to the Spartan tri-match hosted by Aurora, where they will play Wisconsin Lutheran, and they will also take on the University of California, Santa Cruz. Set 3 getting ready to begin shortly. I think the officials still getting one last discrepancy out of the way here on some of the lineups for both teams, but let's go over some of our stats while we have a moment here inside the Keating Sports Center. We look at the kill lead right now. Josh McClellan with 11 kills leading the way for the Spartans. Meanwhile, for the Scarlet Hawks, they have 7 kills out of Maximo Dowling to lead the way to this point. 32 total kills for the Spartans, 21 total kills for the Scarlet Hawks. Set 3 underway with this serve from Sharash. Jelani Komodo. Ball in the middle of the floor for Illinois Tech. It's kept alive by Johnson. He hits it to Donald, and the kill for the Scarlet Hawks, as that's Raul Matos who comes in flying for the point. Illinois Tech led the majority of set 1, but that lead for Illinois Tech really didn't extend beyond 2 points for most of set 1. There was a lot of back and forth where Illinois Tech would get 2, then Aurora would gain 2 to tie it, and then there was a stretch where Illinois Tech was up 2, and then the teams traded points. So Illinois Tech led by 1. They had a number of stretches in that first set where they led by 1, but it was Aurora taking set 2 handedly, and right now Illinois Tech with a 3-point advantage in set 3. Scarlet Hawks sideline currently fired up as Elijah Johnson to serve. Johnson sends the ball long. Johnson had pretty good touch in that second set, but here Johnson just sends it long. There's a number of plays where Johnson, either he hit it long or he hit it perfectly in the middle of the floor. There's really no happy median. In his latest touch, he hits long. Johnson sets it up for Henderson. Henderson inside the line. Point to Illinois Tech. Scarlet Hawks by 3. Looking to avoid the sweep at the hands of their undefeated conference opponent. Remember, Aurora 16-3 on the season, 5-0 in conference play. Here's the hit from McClellan, and that point goes right into the net. Illinois Illinois Tech 9-12 this season. 8 of their previous 21 matches have gone 5 sets. In those 8 matches, Illinois Tech is 4-4 this season. An ace from Maximo Dowling. Illinois Tech racking up the points here in set 3, as they're going to need not only a set 3 win, but also a set 4 victory. They know they have an uphill battle in order to have any effort, any hope at winning this matchup. Ball hit long from Dowling, and it goes out of play to Aurora. 6-2 score. It'll be Logan Brower to serve. Brower doing a great job with the assists. Last we checked, he had 22 assists. Credited to him in this matchup. Henderson hits the ball, and it goes out of play. Point to Aurora. No contact at the top of the net as Aurora, as Illinois Tech was debating that maybe Aurora made contact. The officials disagree, and now the serve coming from Brower. Brower serves the ball over clean, and an ace for Logan Brower, who has done a great job being the ultimate team player in this matchup for the Aurora Spartans with the assists to this point of the matchup. But now he gets the ace to allow Aurora to again cut into what was a 5-point deficit. Brower sends it over clean, received by Donald. Johnson sets up for Matos. Matos with a clean spike gets the kill for Illinois Tech. That was kill number 5 for Raul Matos. Illinois Tech with a 3-point advantage. Komodo. Ball played to the back for Aurora, but it's played on by Illinois Tech off the block. Only for the ball to be played again to the front of the net by McClellan, and the outside hitter comes through with the kill. I have to say about Aurora, they're sort of stubborn in a good way, meaning they don't care what you throw at them defensively. If they feel they have a spot on the floor, they're going to try it again. We've seen that a number of times where maybe Illinois Tech blocks the first try, and then Aurora, they immediately set and pass right to the same spot, and then they get the kill on the second or third try. Illinois Tech gets the point here to go up 3. Coach Mike Oswald standing to my right, looking on. Meanwhile, Paul Henderson, high serve, left hand hit over the net clean. Ball hit to the outside for Sharash. Kept alive by both teams, and now Sharash goes for the point. It's going to be a double hit against Illinois Tech. 8-6 score in favor of the Scarlet Hawks. Substitution now for the Spartans, as we'll get Wachowski back out here. Wachowski's been a big part to what Aurora's been doing in this matchup. We've seen him control the serve quite a bit. Wachowski with an ace, an assist, and a dig. Here's Matos. That was a good job by Farrell to punch it over. Farrell's numerical counterpart, Sharash, makes the hit here for the Spartans, but he hits it into the net as Illinois Tech gains the point. Scarlet Hawks by 3. Remember, programming update here for the Scarlet Hawks Network. We'll actually get that in after this point. Here's Henderson over to Farrell. Johnson tries to punch it over. It's hit long from Illinois Tech, but the point to Aurora. Scheduled today was men's lacrosse action between Illinois Tech and Beloit due to impending thunderstorms here in the local Chicagoland area. It's been pouring down the majority of our matchup. That matchup will still go on, but there will be technical difficulties for the men's lacrosse matchup taking on the Beloit Buccaneers. There will be no commentary. As a result, there will be no commentary for the men's lacrosse matchup tonight here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network. Ball hit in front of the net for Illinois Tech as Dowling is blocked at the net by the Spartans. Aurora has done a great job of rallying off points when they get down in this matchup. It was 6-1 earlier in set 3. And then it was 6-4 And honestly, this match is starting to look a lot, this set 3 is starting to look a lot like set 1, where Illinois Tech was up by 2 points the majority of the set. But then the two teams would trade points, and it would be Illinois Tech by 2, Illinois Tech by 1, before Aurora was finally able to rip off 2 straight points and tie set 1. Here's Zachary Buss on the hit. That was Buss on the serve, I should say. Now he's on the hit on the bump. Johnson sets it up for Komodo. Nice spike, but he couldn't get the point. Outside hit for Sharash. Buss falling to the floor, makes great contact. Opportunity for Henderson. Henderson just sets it over. Aurora goes to the outside. Sharash will get the point. That's off the hands of a double block attempt from Komodo and Johnson. This is where Aurora has been able to turn the tide throughout the matchup when they play that ball to the outside hitters. We've seen, once again, Logan Brower has been key. We've also seen Mateo Sharash, who goes for the serve here. Komodo blocked at the top of the net. That was Brower who knocked it over. And then Illinois Tech able to refire there for the point and take a 2-point advantage on the scoreboard. It was Johnson. Johnson will serve. Scarlet Hawks by 2. We got a ball loose on the floor. And now Johnson will serve. Johnson on the serve. It goes long. And the point to the Aurora Spartans. 11-10. Scarlet Hawks by 1. But now it'll be Sebastian Suzuki, who once again was key at the end of set 1. Will try to get the score back even for the Spartans. A hit for Illinois Tech is in for Matos. Raul Matos with a perfect hit allows Illinois Tech to go up 12-10. I can actually hear Coach Oswald. Once again, he's standing to my right. I can hear him say, "Good job, Raul," before Matos even made contact as he began to walk in to the strike. Outside hit from McClellan. No need to walk into that strike. That's just solid contact from McClellan, who's done that throughout the majority of this matchup. Just go up strong. And with a solid hit, spike the ball down for a point. Logan Brower to serve. Brower had an ace earlier in the set. Brower sends the ball over to Donald. Johnson to Henderson. Henderson was blocked, but it was on the Aurora side of the net for the point. Scarlet Hawks by 2, 13-11 here in the third set. Jelani Komodo, the junior out of Alpharetta, Georgia, on the serve. Middle of the floor hit for Aurora by Solomon Dale. Great job playing it on by Illinois Tech. Dowling to Johnson to Matos. Matos hit it in the perfect spot in the corner. He sort of caught Brower flat-footed. Brower ran to the ball and stopped on the dime. That's where he got caught flat-footed, and I can actually see him holding his left side after he fell back to the ground trying to stop on the dime. Brower still active despite the funny-looking fall. Johnson to Dowling. And the point to the Aurora Spartans. Solomon Dale. That was Dale who made contact. Berzovich was also there. It'll be interesting to see how they officially score that one as a solo or double block, but nonetheless point to Aurora. McClellan on the serve. Dowling on the reception, only for Dowling to send it right back to Berzovich, his numerical counterpart. Aurora back within 1. 14-13. Spartans have been battling the entire third set, but they have been unable to tie the score here, despite a few opportunities to come close. And the game score will continue to trend in that direction on the service error. 15-13 score. It'll be Henderson to serve. Illinois Tech with 3 at the front line. Henderson sends the ball over clean. Kept alive by Henderson. Johnson goes for the kill. Kept alive by the Spartans. They'll go for another hit as Donald with the set to keep it in the air for Illinois Tech. Henderson over the line. Middle of the floor set up for McClellan, but McClellan couldn't quite get it over the net. 16-13 Scarlet Hawks. Josh McClellan has done a great job when he gets that running start. He got it that time, but when he made contact with the ball, just couldn't lift it over the net. Paul Henderson on the serve, and Henderson serves it long. 16-14. Aurora will now control the serve despite a 2-point deficit. Wachowski to serve. Aurora with 3 at the front of the net here, as Wachowski gets airborne on his serve. Johnson for Farrell. That's a great setup by Johnson to Farrell. Farrell was right at the front of the middle of the net. All he had to do really was just make contact, pick a spot. Farrell did just that. Berzovic back out there for Aurora. Actually, they just showed him for the substitution as Nanoff comes on the libero. Ball hit long from Illinois Tech, and the point to Aurora. Another service error for the Scarlet Hawks. To this point of the matchup, that is 6 errors for Illinois Tech. Only 3 for the Spartans. Service errors at the moment favoring Illinois Tech. Is now here's Farrell, who tried to keep it alive. Actually, that was a good job keeping it alive by Carroll, and the point to Aurora. To this point of the matchup, Illinois Tech with 5 aces, Aurora with 3. Illinois Tech with 11 errors to 12 for Aurora. Actually make that 12 apiece following the score recently. Here's Donald setting up Johnson. Kept alive by Brower. Ball hit long, no deflection. Actually, it is a deflection. I didn't think we were going to get a deflection. The officials say there is one. The point for Sharash has allowed Aurora to tie the score at 17 apiece. 198 hitting percentage for Illinois Tech, 295 for Aurora. Here's Dowling, hits it long. That will hurt the Scarlet Hawks hitting percentage. Remember, 5 aces for Illinois Tech, 3 for Aurora. 12 errors apiece to this point of the matchup. 18-17 Spartans. Ball hit long, and another service error. That'll be 13 for Aurora. $18 apiece. As now it'll be Zachary Bust to serve. Bust, the sophomore out of Pennsylvania. Didn't play in the first 2 sets, but he's getting action here in set 3. Outside hit opportunity for Aurora as Carroll hits it right in the net. Coach Oswald walking right on the floor, giving instructions to Elijah Johnson in between serves. Bus sends it over clean. Aurora outside hit opportunity. Ball goes off the hands of Henderson towards the offices here at the Keating Sports Center. Tied at 19. Pivotal point here in this third set. Mateo Sharash. Sharash's serve goes to Henderson. Johnson for Komodo. Oh, Komodo sent that one right to Nanoff, and we've seen that a few times for Aurora. They've had a player that sort of tried to make contact in self-defense. Nanoff tried to make it there, but that was just a great hit from Komodo. Coach Ames for Aurora. He'll take a timeout. Scarlet Hawks lead it by 1, 20-19. Can Illinois Tech extend this to a 4th set? We'll find out on the other side of this break here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network. Courtside at the Keating Sports Center in Chicago. Chris Rouse on the call. This is NCAA Division III Men's Volleyball on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and on YouTube Live. Only 2 more broadcasts this season. The Scarlet Hawks will take on the Concordia University of Chicago Cougars on March the 25th, and they'll take on the St. Norbert Green Knights on March the 29th. But at the moment, Illinois Tech trying to hold on to this set 3 lead, and they are unable to do so out of the timeout as Aurora strikes back to tie the score at 20 apiece. It's 2024-2025 calendar's academic year for sports flying by. We're already in March. Of course, March Madness going on in basketball on the men's and women's side. Meanwhile, here in men's and men's volleyball, they're getting ready to start heading toward conference tournaments. Obviously, women's volleyball played in the fall. The team's starting to get into their fall announcements for their rosters as we move forward with another year of Scarlet Hawks athletics. Point to Aurora as they take a late 21-20 edge. Here in set 3, Coach Mike Oswald, he's been giving his team instructions. And you have to think that maybe if Aurora gets the point here, we could see an Illinois Tech timeout. Here is Suzuki. Dowling and Donald almost ran into each other, and it led to McClellan getting the point for the Spartans. And right on cue, Coach Mike Oswald will burn the timeout. 22-20 Spartans. Coach Oswald and the Scarlet Hawks had been in control of this set, but now they find themselves searching for answers to try to keep the match alive. We'll take a break, and we'll see what they come up with on the other side of this break here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and on YouTube Live. (22-20) the score at the moment, where the Aurora Spartans lead the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks here in set 3. If you're just joining us for this matchup, Aurora won set 1 by a score of 29-27. That was after Illinois Tech led the majority of the way by at least two points. And then in set 2, Aurora able to assert their dominance with a 25-17 set 2 win. And now a block at the net helps the Spartans get closer to match point. 23-20 Spartans. It'll now be Suzuki to serve. Aurora looking to go to 6-0 in conference play. They will go to 17-3 on the season. And now a point to the Spartans on the violation. So now the Spartans will be looking for match point. Up 24-20 is now the official. Officials having some words here with the scores table, which makes it 24-20. Aurora this season, they are 6-0 on the road away from the Thornton Gymnasium. Looking to go to 7-0 and also go to 6-0 in conference play. Here is Suzuki on the serve, but it's a service error. So Illinois Tech will at least control the serve, with the score being 23-21. As now, here's a serve. They've actually changed the score in the build. It's 24-21. As now Donald chases the ball down. Henderson to Komodo. Ball played on by Brower. Here's Notoff. Outside hit from McClellan. And the point for the Aurora Spartans. As I think Aurora having some words. They thought that should have been the match. It will be 24-21. So Brower will serve for the Spartans. So Brower will serve. With this being match point for the Spartans, that will not clear the extender as the ball goes out for Illinois Tech. There's a bit of an issue with the scoreboard at one point. But now that we see it here, it is 24-22 Aurora in the building. During one of the serves, I think they took a point off. I think they took it off for Illinois Tech. Here's Johnson. Outside hit for Matos. Matos for the kill, and Matos gets it for Illinois Tech. Scarlet Hawks back within one. Here is Jelani Komodo, but again, it's still match point for Aurora. Komodo to serve. Ball is in play. Coach Johnson with instructions for his team, but the Aurora Spartans, they get the point, and that will do it as Aurora takes it by the final score of 25-23 from the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks. Clean sweep for the Aurora Spartans, 29-27 set 1, 25-17 set 2, 25-23 in set 3. Aurora now goes to 17-3 on the season. They are 6-0 in NAC men's volleyball competition, and they are now 7-0 on the road this season. Meanwhile, Illinois Tech, they fall 9-13 on the season, and they fall to 4-3 in NAC men's volleyball competition. That will wrap it up for us here inside the Keating Sports Center, where once again our final, the Aurora Spartans take this matchup 3-0 from the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks, 29-27 set 1, 25-17 set 2, and 25-23 set 3. Our next presentation of Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks men's volleyball will be right here on Tuesday, March the 25th, when the Scarlet Hawks take on the Concordia University of Chicago Cougars. For all of our crew here inside the Keating Center, for Eric Willowhite, I'm Chris Rouse. This has been another presentation of Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks men's volleyball and Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks athletics here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and on YouTube Live. Until next time, so long from Chicago.